And good morning, everyone joining us from Latin America and North America today. And of course, good afternoon to those watching from Europe. My name is Anastasia. I am a member of the SRT team, and it's my pleasure to welcome you today to our Study in Europe webinar. I'm very happy to introduce you to our presenters today. Let's see them. So today we'll have a session with Diana Polnichenko from Modul University, Vienna, and Cristina from Jacobs University. Cristina Trifon Calvapiña. So thank you, ladies, for joining us. Let me just say to everyone that our session today will take approximately 1 hour. And at the end of the session, we invite you to join the part with live Q&A, questions and answers. On the right side of your screen, you will see the chat box where you can always ask us a question all the way through the presentation. And now I would like to invite once again Cristina from Jacobs University. Cristina, join us. Now we will play the video from Jacobs University, and then you'll have a pleasure of seeing Cristina's presentation. Enjoy.
Juan Calvopiña, and I'm the head of undergraduate recruitment at Jacobs University, Bremen. I'm from Ecuador, and I actually also graduated from Jacobs University in 2013. So if you have any questions about the student experience or the alumni experience, I'm more than happy to answer those questions for you and tell you what it's like actually to study at Jacobs University. For those of you who don't know, we're located in Bremen, which is in the north of Germany. We're a private, completely English-speaking university that's very focused on research and hands-on learning. And we have a very broad portfolio as well. So here you can see more or less where we're located. It is really nice because it's very like central. You can travel to other cities. You can travel to other cities in Germany, other cities in Europe. It's a really nice, quaint city to live in. This is a picture of what the campus looks like, or part of the campus, rather. It's a residential campus, so all of our undergraduate students live on campus for the duration of their studies. It's really beautiful. It has a lot of green spaces. It's a relatively small university. We have about 1,500 students, but it is really, really international. So of those 1,500 students, about 18% of our student body comes from Germany, and everyone else comes from all over the world. As you can see here, as of this year, it's 124 countries represented on campus. We're very proud of that. But also the university, being so small, it also means that the class sizes are really small. So our faculty to student ratio is 1:16. What this means in reality is that, the biggest classes that you might take will be in your first year when you're taking the big intro courses, and then that'll have maybe 25 people, maybe 30. And then as you move on in your career, through the years, the classes really become smaller and smaller, especially if, for example, you're taking a lab course or something like that. Those are always really small groups of people, about 6 people, 7 people. And this is also something really nice because our professors, they really get to know you. They know your name, they know your face, they know what your interests are. You can go to them at any moment and say like, hey, I want to actually work in this field after I graduate. Which course do you think I should take? Or where should I do an internship or stuff like that? And they always really help you. They act, really like mentors, which is really nice. As I told you, we have a rather broad portfolio of programs. So these are the 15 undergraduate programs that we offer. So, if you're interested in like math and computer science, robotics, artificial intelligence, or engineering, we have that. If you're more interested in natural and health sciences, if you want to do medical research, if you like biotechnology, physics, we have that as well, or environmental sciences. Or if you tend to go more towards the social sciences, we also have, economics, we have business, psychology, sociology, international relations. So there's really quite a range to choose from. And something that's interesting, especially for those of you who are not super sure about what you want to study, is that at Jacobs, you don't actually have to declare your major until the end of the first year. So in your first year, you get to actually take classes from these different majors that you're interested in. And then at the end of the first year, you say, yes, I want to do computer science, or I want to do earth and environmental sciences. Or what's also very common is for our students to do a major minor combination. So you could do a major in business with a minor in computer science, or a minor in chemistry, or anything else that you're interested in. That's also very common. Actually, about 70% of our students graduate with a major and a minor. So that's also really great. You can also mix them up, it can be a major and a minor from a different focus area. It's very common. We also have a foundation year. I can answer questions about that if you have them. It's completely optional. You can either apply for our foundation year or just apply straight to for our undergraduate programs. Students that I advise, that maybe are right for foundation year are, if you are really have no clue what you want to study, because there you get to actually try out different fields. Or if you feel that, for example, you need to improve your academic English before you start, your full bachelor program in English, then maybe you're a good candidate for foundation year. Or if you know that, for example, you want to study computer science, but you feel like you need to improve your math skills before that, or something like that, then maybe foundation year is the right choice for you. But if not, of course, you don't have to do that. It's supposed to be like a year of transition between high school and university. But if not, you can just apply to our undergraduate program. So if you have more questions about that, about the foundation year, I'm also more than happy to answer. So this is more or less, I'll just go through this very quickly. This is more or less what your 3 years at Jacobs would look like. So all of our programs last for 3 years. It's 3 years instead of 4. As everywhere else in Germany. So in your first year, as I said, you get to kind of explore, from different modules, from different majors. And the second year, you actually start moving forward with your career. You start to sort of specialize. And in the summer between the second and third year, all of our students have to do a mandatory internship that lasts about 8 weeks. And that's a requirement for graduation. So that's really great because you actually graduate with some work experience. And it is very often the case that these are the companies that actually end up hiring our students after they graduate. So that's great. And then in your third year, so it's 6 semesters. In the 5th semester, in your third year, you get to choose whether you actually want to do a semester abroad. So we have 55 partner universities worldwide. That's really little. I don't know if you can read that. But a lot of these destinations actually, we send students there every year. They send us students every year. Popular locations are Rice University, which is our sister university in the US. The University of Edinburgh, or IE in Spain, is popular. Sciences Po in France is popular. So the idea is that you get to choose, from one of our partners and go spend a semester there, take some courses, hopefully one that has whatever you're specializing in. And then you come back to write your thesis and graduate in the 6th semester. These are our partner universities, but if you know there's a university that you want to go for your exchange and it's not one of our partners, don't worry about that because our international office can coordinate that for you anyway. So this is a really nice option if you want to do that. Here are some numbers and facts and figures that I very often get asked. So I like to share. For example, I get asked, well, what is the employability? How is it easy for students that graduate from Jacobs to get jobs? And the answer is yes. As you can see here, 90% of our students found their first job position within 1 year, but that's just jobs. So it's actually 94% of our graduates find either their first job position or go to their grad school of choice within the first year. And where do the students go? They come from all over the world, so they also spread all over the world after we graduate, I guess. So about 78% of our students actually stay in Europe after they graduate. Of those, 40% stay in Germany. Second biggest location is North America. So we have a lot of alumni in the US and in Canada, and the rest sort of spreads out around the world. So this is, if you, for example, don't have a European passport, but you think that you maybe want to continue with your master's or get a job after in Europe, this is a really good option for you, because everyone that graduates from a German university gets the right to apply for a job-seeking visa that lasts for 8 months after they graduate. So a lot of our graduates actually take advantage of that. They have their 18-month job-seeking visa, and they do get their job positions. Usually, as you can see here, the majority actually ends up staying in Europe. So if that's something that you're interested in, it's definitely a possibility for you. I mentioned also before that we are a residential campus. So what does that mean? We have 4 different residential colleges on the campus. All of our undergraduate students live on campus for the duration of their studies. So it is really nice because, Jacobs University is not just a place where, students just go to study and then leave, to live their own lives, but students actually live there. So it's very cool because they always want to, have their clubs and their activities, and everything is student-driven, student-organized. The university supports them a lot with this. So as you can see here, there's actually over 35 student clubs and societies about anything that you could like, chess, any kind of sport, dance. If you like, social causes, Amnesty International, anything that you can think of, we probably already have. But I always tell my students, if there's something that you want to do and it doesn't exist at Jacobs yet, if you find enough people that want to do it with you, you can open your own club. We have a campus life department that supports all of these initiatives, sometimes even financially. So really everything is an option. And what's really great about our campus accommodation is that you don't actually share a bedroom with anyone. All of our students live in single bedrooms. So they live in these kind of like 2-bedroom suites where you walk in and you have like a tiny little sort of living room space. And then you have the door to your bedroom and the door to your roommate's bedroom. That's not your roommate because you share the room. The only thing that you share with that one other person is the bathroom. So it's really nice because you still have like your privacy and your space. Each of the 4 residential colleges has also their like cafeteria where you take all of your meals. You can eat in any of the 4 that you like. And the campus itself has really a lot of really good, like nice facilities. Academically, of course, because we have, our top-notch labs, psychology labs, robotics labs, physics, chemistry, biology, everything. But also recreationally, we have the gym on campus if you like sports. We have tennis, basketball, football, beach volleyball courts, indoor football, outdoor football, all that stuff. If you like the arts, we have the theater on campus, the cinema, we have the martial arts and dance room, and all of these spaces are there for the students to use and enjoy. So it's really great because, students really get to live their best lives while they're the time that they spend on the campus. How to apply? The application is very simple. I would say it's actually rather Americanized. So we are a Common App school. So in order to submit your undergraduate application, you have to go through the Common Application, which is really great because the process is really very easy. So these deadlines that you see here on this slide, these are the Common App deadlines, but actually we have a rolling admission system. So these are more like guidelines for us. You can actually apply whenever you're ready, as soon as your application is complete, meaning we received your Common App and all the supporting documents. As soon as we have everything, your application moves on to evaluation, and you will get an answer from us around 2 to 4 weeks later. So in terms of the requirements, we need your high school transcripts for the last 2 to 3 years if you have not graduated, or your final transcript if you have graduated. We need at least 1 letter of recommendation from a school counselor or teacher. 1 is the requirement, but I always advise 2 or 3. Why? Because we have a very holistic approach to our admission. So when you apply, we're gonna look at your grades. Your grades are important, but so is everything else. So often we find whatever you write in the Common App, whatever comes in those letters of recommendation, that's really important for us because we're a residential campus. So we want students who are academically capable, but also community members and, socially well adjusted. So 2 to 3 letters of recommendation, although 1 is the requirement. And then besides from that, we also need an English proficiency test and a standardized test, which could be the SAT, the ACT, or the Test AS. There are possibilities to waive both of these tests, but it's on a very case-to-case basis. So if you want to know if you qualify for a waiver, all you have to do is email us and we'll let you know. In terms of costs, right now it costs 28,000 euros per year. It's 3 years. And sorry, we do have merit-based scholarships and also need-based financial aid. So the way in which it works is everyone that applies is automatically considered for a merit-based scholarships, excuse me. And this comes in your letter of admission. So, hey, you've been admitted with this much scholarship. If that's not enough, you can also apply for need-based financial aid. I'm so sorry. So here's a little slide where you can see, Jacobs in a nutshell. We really want the student experience on campus to be very, a place where you can grow and learn academically, and achieve your career goals, but also personally. So this is the reason why we really try to have a lot of different support systems on campus. Of course, academically, you have your academic advisor, you have, your seniors who can help you out. We have tutors, but also in different aspects. So living in such a diverse community, we always have someone, if you have a problem, with some paperwork in Germany, there's always going to be someone to help you. If there's some, if you need psychological help or social, anything at all, there's always someone there. We really, our students call our campus the bubble endearingly, because it's really like you walk into the campus and it's this little family, sort of little community. So it's really a really nice experience to study there. And here I just wrote, to summarize some of the conveniences, of studying in Germany. So I mentioned a couple of these already, such as the 18-month job-seeking visa that you can apply for after. The ease of mobility, of course, whether you're student residence permit, you can travel all over Europe visa-free. And this is recreationally, but also, when you have to do this 8-month internship in the summer between your second and third year, you can do it in Germany, but you can also do it anywhere else in Europe. So that's also really nice. And yeah, you also have, it says here, the right to work for up to 240 days. What that means is that actually university students in Germany are allowed to work while they study, and up to 240 days. That means you can work up to a salary of about 450 euros per month, which means they're like 40-hour contracts per month. So a lot of our students actually do that. They either have jobs on campus, they work for us at the admissions office, they work for professors as teaching or lab assistants, or they work at the library, or they work at the gym. So, there's really a lot of options. A lot of our students also have jobs off campus. You can work for another lab off campus, or you can work in retail or in a bar or a restaurant. Anything is possible. It's just up to you and how you manage your time. So that's also definitely an option. And when it's time for you to search for your actual, like an internship or your job after you graduate, we also have a very dedicated career services center on campus, which deals just with that. So, they have these seminars where they teach you how to write a CV, whether European or German conventions. How do you write this letter? Or you can just knock on their door and say, hey, I have an interview lined up for this internship or for this graduate school. Can you help me? And they'll do mock interviews with you. They also have the contact to the alumni network, and they keep it really strong, because often the alumni will be your first point of contact when you're looking for a job. That has been our experience in the past, and it's really quite successful. So really, all along the way, you will have the support that you need. I'm gonna finish with that. These are my contact details. As I said before, my name is Cristina Trifon Calvo-Piña, and I'm the head of undergraduate recruitment at Jacobs University. Here you find my email and my WhatsApp. If you have any questions along the way, please don't hesitate to contact me. And I think, now we're gonna move on to Diana from Modul.
want to student in such an amazing city like Vienna?
It is indeed amazing. It's very vibrant and safe, and everyone speaks English here too.
My name is Diana Palnichenko, and today I will represent Modul University, Vienna. I'm a recruitment and marketing manager at Modul, and you can see my contact details on the screen. So, of course, you can address all your questions that you have during your presentations in chat, but if you have some after the presentation, please feel free to contact me anytime. I'm also a graduate of the university, so I finished both bachelor and master programs at Modul, so I can also answer your questions from the perspective of the student that graduated from the university. So now on the screen, you can see the view on our campus. On the left, you can see the Modul University, and on the right side of the screen, the beautiful view over the whole city of Vienna that opens from the terraces and the windows of our campus. So our students are enjoying the view. Sometimes, of course, they are getting a bit distracted as well. And also the university is surrounded by the vineyards. So the view in summer is especially beautiful. So I will move on to the key facts about Modul University and tell you a bit more in brief what our university is. So we are a private international university located in Vienna, Austria, as already mentioned. We are a rather small university, so currently we have about 800 students on campus. And as you can see, the faculty to student ratio is also quite small, so it's 1 to 20, which means that for every 20 students, we have one staff member. And that means that all your questions that you have, you can address them to professors directly and they will know you by name. Also, we are an international university, as I mentioned. That means that we have more than 70% of international student body on campus, and students are coming from more than 100 different countries to the class. That means that sometimes in your class you won't have two people coming from the same country, which is a great add-on as well to your program. And especially if you study something like hospitality or international management, that's something that would for sure help you to also get to know more about different cultural backgrounds as well of your fellow colleagues. Also, we have a dedicated career services on campus, and that is supported by the fact that currently we have more than 700 partner companies worldwide, and our alumni network is also really strong. It's about 8,000 graduates worldwide. Of course, our graduates are everywhere in the world, so they're not only staying in Vienna after they graduate, but they also move to different countries and work there, so we still have a connection, of course, to all of them. Also, all of our programs are taught entirely in English, but you can study foreign languages while studying at Modul. There are 30 languages that you can choose from and study them. Of course, a lot of our students prefer to study German in order to proceed with their career afterwards, but of course, you can also work in English in Vienna, as there are a lot of different international companies located in Vienna in Austria. So moving on to some other facts and figures, as I already mentioned, all courses, all programs are taught entirely in English, so you don't have to know German in order to study with us in Austria. We have a personalized teaching approach, so you won't be counted as a number at the university, but the professors will really know you by name, and we have the open door policy, so you can always go and ask them any questions that you have, and also you will have the personal mentor during your studies, academic mentor. So if you have any questions, again, about your courses or, for instance, thesis, you can always address your mentor. You can start your studies with us in spring or fall. So if you wish to do the gap semester and do the internship, for instance, or travel the world or study languages, you can also start in spring with us. We offer worldwide exchange semester opportunity for all of our students. So you can go for one semester abroad to many different countries. So currently we have more than 40 partner universities in the world where you can go, and this exchange semester is offered to all of our students, so everyone can go. It just depends if you want to or not. And as I already mentioned, we have global career and network opportunities offered to our students, but I will talk about it a bit more in depth later. I'll move on to the study programs and the teaching approach in the university. So our teaching approach is the combination of the research-informed approach and the practical experience. Currently, we're ranked in top 25 multi-rank ranking as the first university in Europe and the third university in the world for the top-cited research publications, and that means that the research potential of the university is really strong. If you want to proceed with your master's and PhD, that will be a great benefit for you. However, of course, as you study management, you will benefit also from the practical experience in class. So you'll have a lot of different workshops, presentations, group works to join, and study in practice as well. So as I already mentioned, we follow the student-centered approach, which means that you as a student will be in the focus of the attention of our professors, and you will always be supported by different extracurricular activities as well, so you can join different clubs. I will talk about them a bit more in depth later. And we also have continuous assessment instead of the one stressful final week of exams. So you don't have to study for this stressful week, but we will assess you continuously throughout your studies by a different combination of different grades. For instance, you will do presentations, paperworks. You will also get a grade for the participation. And from all of these grades, the final grade will be compiled, which is a bit more objective, of course, than just taking one exam in the end. Now we can see the overview of the programs that are offered in general in the university. So you can start with the foundation if you want to prepare yourself for bachelor's. Then we offer 7 different bachelor programs, which I will talk a bit in a second. And you can proceed after the bachelor with your master, MBA, or PhD in the university. That depends. That's up to you. If you want to stay in the university, you can also do so and continue with the programs. All of the programs are fully accredited, so you can also study anywhere in the world. And you won't have any problems with that. So here on the screen, you can see the program structure of the bachelor program. Semester 0 is a foundation program. It's optional. If you want to take it and improve your English skills or math skills, you can also do so. Afterwards, from the first semester, you will have 3 semesters of the basic knowledge of the core courses in business and management fundamentals. And after the 4th semester, you will have a chance to get your specialization and be specialized in one of the following courses. It can be either BSc or BBA program. And for some of them, for BBA programs, you would also have to do the internship, which is mandatory for 1 semester, but will also help you to find the internship through our career services. Now on the screen, you can see the different Bachelor of Science program that we offer. It's International Management, Interactive Marketing, and Entrepreneurship and Governance. And we also have 4 different BBA programs: event management, tourism management, hotel management, and hotel management and operations. All of the programs that you can see, they are 3-year programs, except of hotel management and operations, which is a 4-year program because it has the first year of the practical experience in hospitality. So you really work, so you achieve the hands-on experience of working in a hotel, for instance. Now moving on to one of the most important parts of being a student in Vienna, it's the student life in the university. So you'll start off, when you come to Vienna, you'll start off your study experience with the orientation week, where you can meet all your fellow students, fellow colleagues, get to know them a bit more. You'll have different icebreaking activities. You will see the city as well during this week. Of course, you can join the student clubs offered at the university. Currently, we have about 15 of the clubs, 15, 20, I would say. We have different clubs like hotel club, entrepreneurship club, soccer club, tennis club, also a wine club. But of course, if you don't have any club that is of interest for you, and if you want to open something else, then together with another colleague, so 2 of you can open another student club. Also, we offer buddy programs. So once you arrive to Vienna, you can be assigned to a buddy that will show you your accommodation and also help you with the visa process and just help you to get settled in the new city. Besides that, we also have different social events on campus. So for instance, we have International Day. It's the day which we celebrate in May, and all of the different students from different cultural backgrounds, nationalities, they cook their home food, and we also dress up in the national clothes. And this is a charity event as well. So you can participate in different social events on campus. As I already mentioned, you can go for exchange for 1 semester to any of the partner universities. So our students are going to actually different continents, different countries. It's up to you where you want to go. The popular destinations are University of Central Florida, University of San Francisco, Hong Kong Polytechnic University. It's up to you. If you choose the university that you can study at for 1 semester, you can apply for exchange and do so. As for the city, Vienna is a beautiful city and a really convenient student city. It is also the largest student city in the German-speaking region. So that means that you have a lot of international students in the city and you won't feel lonely here. Also, Vienna was ranked as #1 city worldwide for quality of living for the past 10 years in a row, which of course means a lot. It means that the infrastructure is great, the public transportation, the city is safe and really clean. Also, this year it was voted to be the greenest city in the world because of the parks and the green areas that we have in the city. You also have a lot of student benefits, like student discounts and reductions, of course, that you can also benefit of when you are a student in Vienna. Vienna in Austria, also maybe you know already, it has a really rich imperial history. You can also visit different museums and art galleries to see the world famous collections of art. And of course, being a student is really important that you can enjoy the outstanding food and wine while studying. As for the accommodation, we have 3 partner dormitories in our university that you can stay in. Most of our students are staying there. They're located about 30 minutes away from our campus, which is up on a hill, and 15 minutes away from city center. So in this private dormitories, you'll get your private room. You won't share the bathroom. It will be your own bathroom. And together with the utility cost, you will spend about 315 euro per month, depending on the room size and also on the facilities that you choose to have in your room. Now moving on to the career opportunities, another important aspect, because we know that once you're a student, especially international student in the city, it's not only about your degree, but also about the career opportunities. So you can actually benefit from our career services in this case, and they will help you with the job and application coaching. So they will help you to prepare your CV, to prepare for the interview in Vienna or also anywhere abroad in our partner companies if you want to do the internship in these companies. Also, they will help you with the part-time job. So being a student in Vienna, and if you have a student visa, you can work up to 20 hours per week, which is great, and you can basically work part-time besides your studies as well. Besides that, we also have the Startup Hub. So if you have the entrepreneurial mindset, if you want to start off your business idea and maybe even get it financed, you can join the Startup Hub. And we have the accelerator and the incubator in the Startup Hub. And we have actually different companies that were established by our students in our university. So that will be also some add-on to your career as well if you want to start off your business in the university. Of course, I told earlier about the practical experience that you can receive in the university. So you can do the internship for some of the courses. You have to do the internship for 1 semester, and we'll help you with that. Also, you have a lot of real-life case studies during the classes. So it's not only about the theory, but you have different speakers coming to the sessions, and sometimes it's CEOs of the big companies. So you also have a chance to get to know them and to ask them any questions that you might have. Besides that, we also offer different mentorship and industry excellence programs in the university. So if you want to be assigned for 3 months for one of the companies of your choice in the industry of your choice, you can also do so. You just have to have more than 85% in your first semester of the studies, and then you can benefit from the mentorship programs as well. And as already mentioned, we have professional workshops on campus. Now on the screen, you can see some industry connections that we have, some partner companies, and where students and graduates are working. So some of the students are doing internship in these companies, and our graduates are also working in that companies. Of course, it's not all of them, as we have 8,000 graduates, but it's just for your understanding so that you can see that there are different companies in different industries and also the big names. So it's up to you whether you want to work in a small startup, if you want to start something new yourself, or if you want to join one of the partner companies of the university. We have the lifelong alumni services, which means that once you graduate, you will be a Modulian, as we call our students, forever. So you can join our annual alumni reunions. You can benefit from our alumni network and different alumni support options. So for instance, you can still apply through us for your job afterwards, after you graduate. And you also get the opportunity to give lectures if you want to do so after you graduate. Now moving on to another important aspect, admissions. Our application process is rather simple. So you have 3 steps that you have to go through. It's the online application. So you have to upload all the required documents online on our website. The So it's basically Modul ACAT, but just apply now in the beginning. And then you upload, once you upload all the documents and submit the application, our admission committee sees it, and they process the application within 24 hours, usually up to 2 days. So you really get the response from the admission committee really fast. With the and you will know if they invited you for interview. So if you're invited for interview, you can do it personal, or of course now it is more relevant to say via Zoom or Skype. And within a couple of days afterwards, you'll get the final decision from the admission committee on your acceptance to the university. As for the documents required, you can see them on the screen. So of course, it's your high school diploma, including the transcript of grades. We also require the proof of English proficiency if you have not studied in English for more than 2 years. If you did, then you can also skip the English proficiency test. If you don't have it, so for English proficiency test, you can see that we require level B2 for our bachelor programs, and you can take one of the following international tests. It can be IELTS, TOEFL, Cambridge certificate, Duolingo English proficiency test, which is of course really important now as one of the options that can be done completely online, and Pearson Academic. You can also see in the gaps the minimum required scores to pass. We would also need your CV, resume, motivation letter, and one letter of recommendation from your school, so from your previous teachers, for instance, and also your copy of passport size photos, or some basic documents for the application. Now on the screen, you can see the deadlines for the application. For the international students to start in fall this year, the application was extended, and you can still apply before 30th of June. If you want to start in spring, then you can apply until the end of October. And you can also see the deadlines for the European Union citizens. The deadlines are different due to the visa. So if you need to open the visa, of course, it is better to apply earlier, and that's why we created a special international student deadlines. Also, as for the tuition fees, because I suppose that a lot of you would have the questions regarding the tuition fees. So our fee is 37,000 per 3 years. So for program, for the complete bachelor program. And that means that the fee per semester is approximately 6,166 euro per semester. However, we also have different options of reductions and scholarships, and I think we will talk about it later in the Q&A section. So thank you so much for your attention. It was a pleasure talking to you, and you can see the our social media on the screen. So if you want to follow us and see how the student life at Modul is going on, you can also follow us and see that. Thank you so much for your attention. I think we'll start with the Q&A session now, and I will give the floor to my colleague Christina.
Does the decision of doing a major minor affect the cost of the program? Absolutely not. So if you decide to do a major and a minor combination, this doesn't extend the amount of study time, and it also doesn't change the cost at all. It would be still 3 years of study and the exact same cost. And the second question is, does the university have scholarships for international students? Is scholarship available? Is the same for transfer students? Yes. So all of our merit-based scholarships, as well as our need-based financial aid, it is for everybody. So it doesn't matter if you're from Europe, if you're German, if you're from anywhere in the world, it applies for everyone. So as I mentioned, and this applies also for transfer students, when you apply, you're automatically considered for our merit-based scholarships. And then this comes in your letter of admission. You've been admitted with this much scholarship. If that's not enough, you can still apply for our need-based financial aid. Same for transfer students, and the same for our undergraduate students.
So I'll proceed with some more questions. So we got a question: what is the average cost of living for the international students in Austria? And of course, it depends on your personal preferences a lot. But I would say for the accommodation, as already mentioned, in Austria, in one of the partner dormitories, it's about 300 up to 330 euro per month for your own room, including utilities. Also, the student ticket for the public transportation is 75 euro per month. And I would say of the expenses for food, it depends on your personal preferences, but I would say per month in Austria would be at least like 600, 700 euro per month that you would need to live comfortably as a student. And the second question is, how many internships can we do in total, and are they paid? So you can do as many internships as you want, and as many internships as you have time to do. But for some of our programs in Modul, so for instance, BBA programs, we require you to do one internship for one semester. You can also do, of course, summer internships, and it depends. Are they paid or not? It depends, of course, on the company. Some companies provide you with accommodation, as you have to travel, for instance, and with so yeah, they provide you with accommodation, but they're not paid. But most of the companies that you will join in Vienna for the internship, they are paid. I can also say from my own experience that my internships were paid when I was doing them.
Germany, well, in the case of Jacobs University, this fee of 28,000 euros per year, that already includes your living expenses. So it's 20,000 for tuition plus the 8,000 euros for your room and board. So the 28,000 is all inclusive for, you know, accommodation, your meals, everything. The only thing that would be outside of that would be the health insurance, which is about 80 euros per month. And then any money that you want to use to, you know, maybe go to the movies or something like that. So that's completely up to you. But your meals and your accommodation is already included in the 28,000 per year. Okay, so the questions for me, we have the student accommodation looks amazing. It is. Is it mandatory for students to live there, or can they also look for their own housing if they want something different? So we do believe that it is part of our Jacobs experience, you know, that it's not just, you know, of course, academically, Jacobs is amazing, but we're also really interested in, you know, like learning outside of the classroom. So that's why it's really important for us that our students live on this campus community. So no, it is mandatory for our undergraduate students to live on campus for the 3 years of study. However, it has been the case in the last couple of years that due to the student numbers, sometimes the third-year students that are coming back from, for example, semesters abroad or something, there's no more space on campus for them anymore, so they can look for other accommodations. So it's very common here for students to find shared apartments or things like that. That's also very widely available in Bremen, because Bremen is a very student city. There's like 2 or 3 other universities in Bremen besides from Jacobs. So that's also very common. But in theory, all of our students should live on campus for the 3 years of study. And next question, what are the deadlines for the students that will start in 2020? So if you want to start it now in fall 2020, the deadline for the last recommended deadline for international students who need a visa to study in Germany has already passed. It was June 1st. However, as I said, you know, these deadlines for us are really more guidelines. You can still apply. You can go to the Common App and send your application, send in your documents. The deadline, you know, it's kind of soft, you know, like you can still do it now, and you can still do it in the next couple of months. However, I do advise that if you want to start studying now in fall 2020, you do it as soon as possible because of the visa processing times if you need to apply for a visa. And if you're European, the deadline for you is actually July 20. So you still have time if you have a European passport. Diana, I think you're muted.
Sorry, can you hear me now? Perfect, yeah. So I would like to briefly talk also about the scholarships at Modul, because I think this is also an important question. So we offer 2 different types of reductions. It's the merit grant, merit scholarships in amount of 5,000 euro that is granted to the students with the high academic achievements. So you don't have to apply separately for that. You can also apply, you can just apply through our normal online application platform, and then you'll be automatically considered for this grant. And besides that, we also have the early payment reduction, and you can benefit from the early payment reduction if you apply until the 30th of June this year. So still have a couple of days left. And this is also the deadline for international students to start in 2020. The early payment deduction is an amount of 3,000 euro that is usually deducted from your second semester of bachelor studies. So I'll move on with my questions. When does the spring semester begin? So the spring semester starts for us in the late February, beginning of March. So it's the last weeks of February that you usually have to be here for the orientation week. And then the courses start last days of September and February, and beginning of March. And do you accept AP credits? So yes, if you follow American program, we would need 4 APs, and from them it should be, one of them should be English and another one should be maths. That's the requirement. If you don't do mathematics, maths as a AP, you would require to do the foundation to do the maths in a foundation program. So just take one prerequisite course of maths. And then the next question, yeah, so that's all for me, and then we'll move on with another question. Sorry.
Right, so next questions for me are, do you accept IB for English credits? The question is a little bit unclear. I'm assuming that you're wondering if with IB you don't have to take the language proficiency test that you need to apply. I think if that's what you mean, yes. So we do require an English proficiency test. As I mentioned, there are a couple ways in which you can get a waiver for that. One of the ways is if you have an IB English A, so the literature one. And that's only if when you submit your transcript, if you have already graduated, you have a 6 or a 7 in English A, or if it's in your, in your predicted grades that you will get a 6 or a 7 in English A, then you won't have to take the English proficiency test. I hope that I answered your question. And the next question is how high the grades should be to get a scholarship. Excellent question. So as I mentioned before, we have a very holistic approach. So the grades matter, they're important, but not only the grades. So of course, especially if you're looking at merit-based scholarships, the higher your grades, the better. But that's not the only thing that we're going to take into consideration. So both our applications for admission and also our merit-based scholarships are very holistic. So we're going to look at your application as a whole. Grades as high as possible, of course, but that's not the only thing that's going to go into consideration. It's going to be also what else you read when you're coming up, what do you do, where do you want to go? All of those things are actually playing a role in whether you're admitted, but also whether you receive a merit-based scholarship or not. And also how much. So sorry, I forgot to mention before that our merit-based scholarships actually range from 2,500 up to 15,000 euros per year. So whatever you get within that range is holistic and it will be in your letter of admission.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. Do you have partner universities in Spain? So yes, Modul University has one partner university in Spain. Currently, it's the University of Barcelona, and also it is a really popular option for our students to go for exchange during bachelor's as well as during the master programs. So yes, we do have the partner university in Spain. And the second question, I think it's said that this question is for both universities. So the question is, where are you ranked in the world's university rankings? So as for us, we're a private international university, so we're rather small. And for now, I can only tell you that we're ranked in top 20 private universities in Austria. However, besides that, as well as I've already mentioned, we're currently ranked in a multi-rank ranking for the top-cited publications, where in this ranking, we're the first one in Europe and the third one in the world.
Okay, so question for both universities, where you rank in the World University Rankings. We are part of the CHE ranking, which is one for German universities only, and as well as the Times Higher Education World University Rankings. So our latest ranking, I had to look it up actually. Jacobs University is among the 25% of the best universities worldwide, and it is also ranked as the most international university in Germany. It is also the #1 private university in Germany, so it's pretty high, and it's considerable. Also, I mean, when you take into account that the university is actually quite young, we are only 19 years old, so, and it's very small. So we're really very proud of that. And moving on to the next questions, what grade age should I be to start the application process? Minimum 16. You need to be at least 16 because it's a campus, residential university, and we can't really take responsibility for people who are younger than 16. Which deadline would you recommend if I want to start in spring 2021 or fall 2021? Great question. We don't actually have a spring intake. We only have a fall intake. The semester in the fall starts in September. So which deadline would you recommend? So if you're interested in starting to study in fall 2021, the recommendation is always apply as early as possible. So, our Common App for the fall 2021 intake is going to open around September or October. So, as soon as October, you can already start your application. You can do the Common App, send it in, and then start sending in your documents as you go, as you get them. And then as soon as it is complete, as soon as we've received every single last one of your documents, you will move on to evaluation and you will know your answer 2 to 4 weeks later. So I do advise my students to just apply as early as possible, because then the decision will be there. It'll be easy for you to start with your visa process. You won't be late or anything. And also, if you're looking for scholarships and financial aid, you will get all of those answers sooner as well. So as I said, it's rolling admissions. The hard deadline would be, June 2021. I do advise that you apply as early as possible, though.
Modul on these two questions. So what age should you be to start the application process? For us, it's also a minimum of 16. So let's say usually our students apply for bachelor's when they're 17, 18 minimum. And however, for us, yes, we don't have the minimum age of application, but yes, usually it's 17. And then the second question is which deadline would you recommend if you want to start in spring 2021, fall 2021? So the deadlines are usually the same. So for spring 2021 for international students, then it will be the 31st of October 2020, and then for fall 2021 it will be the 30th of May, because this year the deadline was extended. So for next year it will be 30th of May 2021 in this case. Yeah, so that's for us. And there's one more question for Christine, as I can see.
The last question that we have here is, does Jacobs University have scholarships for international students that want to study a master's degree? Yes, we do. So I know that we have 4 different master's programs. So the focus at the university is really the undergraduate program students, and then also PhDs and postdocs, because it's a research university. So for the master's programs, I do just recommend that you send me an email so that I can forward it to the people that actually deal with the master's program, because the master's, all of them have different admission requirements, and they also have different financing requirements and possibilities for scholarship or not that don't depend on whether you're international or not. If you're international and want to have a scholarship for a master's degree, you can absolutely do that. But it just depends on what program and how much it costs. So send me an email and I will forward that to the person that can help you.
So now we have another question to both of us. What are our English requirements? And are UK A levels and GCSE acceptable? So for us, the English requirements, as already mentioned, it's B2. So you can take one of the tests that you've seen. It's either IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo online test or Cambridge test. And if you studied more than 2 years in English, for us, you can waive from the English language proficiency test. You don't need it in this case. And for the A levels, yes, we do accept A levels. And if you want to apply for our programs, that's 3 A levels for us to be accepted. So yes, that's it from our side.
For Jacobs University, it is really almost the same. It's very similar. We do accept the A levels. However, this is not a replacement for the English proficiency test. You still do have to take an English proficiency test. We accept many different tests. Popular ones that we receive are the TOEFL, the IELTS, the Cambridge, Duolingo English test, which I always recommend to my students because it's just so much easier. So yes, we do accept A levels as like a high school diploma kind of thing. If you do at least a certain amount, it's very specific, but it's not a replacement for an English proficiency test. You would still have to take one.
All right. Thank you so much for your wonderful and precious advices. We have a lovely audience. Thank you all very much for your active participation and the wonderful questions. You can check our upcoming webinars. There is a button on your screen showing up, so you can already check what is coming next this week. And once again, thank you, Diana. Thank you, Christina. for a wonderful presentation. We would like from SRT team wish you all a wonderful rest of the day and stay safe.
Thank you so much. Thank you for
Bye
organizing.
everyone.
Thank you, and thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye.